Okay, so yesterday, myself and one of our colleagues, we were talking about the current market dynamics,
Mm-hmm.
and something came up in terms of the current consumer behavior,
Okay.
and we started talking about three things that we are currently seeing in the market. We have heard this notion called fight, flight, or freeze, and I
Okay.
think right now we are seeing all three emotions that are
In both
taking place
sellers and buyers
when it comes
and
to
investors.
real estate
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
yeah.
people who are out there either looking to sell or buy.
Agree.
So, what do we mean by that, right?
Yeah. How
So
do we
let's
determine like where you are?
where you are and what does it mean when we
What is
say fight, flight, or freeze.
hmm.
So fighting means that people are looking at it as an opportunity. This
Yeah.
market, that hey, the prices are a little bit low from their peak, so this is the time to sort of go in, go in a little bit aggressive. Next one is flight.
Mm-hmm.
That hey, can't operate in this kind of a market at all whatsoever.
Risk appetites.
I'm done. I'm just going to wait until things settle down a little bit. And then the
A lot
third
of freezing.
emotion, there's a lot of freezing happening. Freeze means I just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'd like to do something, I just don't know what to do. So I think at the moment we're seeing all those three emotions playing a role.
Yeah.
So what do we think about that? And what can we tell our consumers in terms of, how to act, how to react, and, determine in terms of what the right approach is at the end of the day?
I think the most important thing is that everybody should assess their own personal situation. Wherever they are in their journey of buying, selling, investing, right?
Yeah.
And make that take a deep dive into your personal situation, financial situation, and all. Of course, it all comes down to how much risk appetite you have,
Yeah.
and how comfortable you are in making those decisions, which
Yeah.
could lead you to make money or spend money,
Right.
right? So because it's all coming at a cost right now, and
So the question is, okay, if somebody comes to us and say, hey, should I fight? Should I fly? Or should I freeze? What do we say? Obviously, number one thing, as you said,
yeah.
let's look at it more at a micro level, more at a personal,
Yeah,
financial
take a
level.
deeper dive into
Yeah.
it versus just because I can.
Don't go for the headlines.
Yeah, don't
go
go-
for the
oh,
headlines, right?
God, please don't.
I think
go
it's
for
an
the
it's
headlines.
we're in the current times where it's information overload.
Yes,
There's a headline after headline every day.
every day.
And every pundit or analyst talks about based on their perspective of the market, which could be very different from each other.
And everybody
So-
is a real estate expert, so don't fall for that.
So I think in this kind of a market, personally, I think
Yeah.
is that data is the key.
Absolutely.
Look at the data in terms of what the data is telling you. And when I talk about data, I'm not talking about looking at a 7 million population city such as Toronto, the Greater Toronto area, and say, hey, the average sale price of Greater Toronto is X, Y, and Z. Okay, that is different from what it was, let's say, 8 months ago, obviously.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? What does it really tell me? I don't know if it tells me
Nothing.
anything in terms of what my goal is, what area I'm looking at. So we always go back to telling our clients that always look at it from a very micro level,
Like a very hyper local.
very hyper local.
Like in
Yeah,
some areas, I even find that it's not even just the neighborhood; it's sometimes the street even.
That's
You
right.
gotta look how that performance is, and then make a decision.
absolutely. So whether you fly, fight, or freeze, it all depends on in terms of how you view the market and what you can leverage to make sure that you can make the right emotional choice, if you will. Ultimately, that's what it boils down to. Some people look at it as an opportunity, some people look at it as a high risk. But ultimately, we believe that obviously look at your personal situation in terms of what your goals are, what you want to achieve, and at the same time, always look at the data at a very hyper local level.
Okay,
Good.
that's good chat. All right.